focus is going to be on spinal articulation and mobilization of each vertebrae of the spine. So I'm going to take you through some movements in all different planes. So starting off on our back, we'll be bridging. So you're going to be lying down on your back with your knees bent, feet, knees, hip width apart, and arms reaching down by your side. I'm going to start by tilting the pelvis towards you. So you posteriorly tilt the pelvis, and then you start to peel the spine up away from the floor, taking a breath in, and now you're rolling from the top, so from your thoracic, one vertebrae down at a time as you articulate and roll. And again, imagining the spine is like a bike chain, and each link on that bike chain is each vertebrae in your spine. You're trying to articulate one vertebrae at a time, and then rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Now I know your spine might feel a bit stiff and clunky, but the goal of this movement is to try to encourage segmental movement around each vertebrae. Now we're going to take a look into some thoracic rotation. We're going to come into our book opening exercises. So from here, we're going to be in a sideline position, and I do have some squares just to support my neck. This is still about spinal mobility, but in a rotational plane. So I start by bringing my hand up towards the ceiling, my eye gaze follows. So my neck initiates the movement, then my chest opens. Now it's my ribs and torso that are going to follow without the pelvis moving. And then we draw back from the ribs, draw back through the chest, the arm, and the head. Now a different variation you might find is a bow and arrow. So from here you might like to bend the top arm as if you're pulling on a bow, and then now start to allow the rotation to occur through the neck, the chest, and the thoracic, opening up, allowing those ribs to stretch back, and then returning. My favourite is actually getting rid of the squares, interlacing the fingers, and both hands behind the head. Now from here, I want to keep my head nice and heavy in the bottom arm, and as I start to open the top elbow, allow the elbow to open up as much as your body allows before your head now starts to roll. The chest is opening, and then the ribs and spine are twisting. And now I draw back from the ribs and the abdominals, allow the shoulders to stack, and then the elbow closes. All right, from here we're going to move into our thoracic extension, or our prone extension. So that's lying on our stomach. Now we want to avoid shearing across our lower back and really emphasize the movement in the upper back. Now this isn't going to look like I'm actually doing much movement, so smaller the better. Trying to isolate each vertebrae through our thoracic spine, our upper back to move. Now I lengthen through the crown of the head, long through the neck. Now think bone by bone, my upper back is peeling up into extension. And then rolling all the way back down. Sometimes you can think, maybe imagine that you're nudging a marble forward with your nose so that your neck initiates. Now start to let your eye gaze go that little bit further, and imagine you're just opening up your heart. Your heart is lifting away from the mat. You're broadening across the back of the shoulder blades, and then you come back down. Now I can feel that right between my shoulder blades, across my bra line, but definitely not into my lower back. our cat stretch. So we want to come down onto all fours. And in this position, rather than shearing through the lower back again, I want you to articulate from the tailbone all the way through the spine to the crown of the head. So the movement should always start at the tailbone and finish at the head. So I'm going to start in my angry cat position. I want to take a deep breath into the back and sides of the ribs. Now the tailbone initiates the movement, so try and curl through the pelvis, then through your lower back, your mid-back, and now start pushing strongly through the hands as you lift the chest forward, and maybe let your eye gaze go a little bit further forward with it. Inhale. Now tuck the tailbone down, round, so you're really scooping through the lower abs. Again, one segment at a time, one vertebrae at a time, rolling through flexion into extension. Again, I can feel that in my upper back, and then finishing again through flexion. And now to finish off, we're going to come up to standing and go into our standing roll downs. So having your feet hip width apart, and think roughly your hips should remain over your ankles. We don't want the hips swaying backwards. So I take a breath in, we nod the head down, we scoop the belly, the shoulders just naturally round, the knees are soft as you start to roll down. Only rolling down as far as you feel comfortable. Take a breath in. Now scoop the belly and feel like your sit bones are drawing down towards your heels as you restack from the pelvis, the lower back, the mid back, the upper back, shoulders and head. Once again, imagining your spine is like a slinky and you'll just push the slinky down the stairs, and one link at a time is going to fall down or roll down the stairs. So one link or one vertebrae at a time is going to just fall over, rolling down. And then as you restack, you're like Lego blocks, one bone at a time, restacking vertebrae upon vertebrae until you lengthen up nice and tall. And then you are done. That's your spinal mobility through all planes, flexion, extension and rotation.